What's up, my dudes? The Galaxy Boys back, the Space Boys back. You know what it is. This is my new custom track, Venus Supercross. Okay, first of all, let me thank a donator. We got Drew Hiller. Okay, he says, just donated $5, but there wasn't a place to leave a message. Good vids, bro. Been following since 2016. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that didn't let you leave a message. I'll look into that, though. Try to get it fixed. So, yeah, anyways, appreciate the $5, man. It's crazy. I know some of you dudes, a lot of you dudes have told me that I'm the whole reason you even got into MX Simulator, and some of my videos is the whole reason some of you boys even found MX Simulator. So it's crazy, man. A lot of you dudes have been following me since, 15, 16. Pretty crazy, man. So yeah, either way, appreciate the $5. So, okay, we got Venus Supercross, and this is going back to some of you old school fans right here. Okay, if you remember my Venus motocross track, okay, that was like when I first started doing the whole space galaxy, right? I was the first dude that ever really made a space track in a motocross game, and then I just started expanding it to every other planet, right? It started with the moon supercross, and then it went to Venus motocross, Mars motocross, right? And then on from there, Saturn, crap, man. I've made just about every Pluto, right? Made a whole like Pluto planet track, supercross and motocross, right? So I've definitely made a lot of tracks like this before, but if you're looking at this track kind of thinking in your head like, man, why does that look so basic? Like, Spence, you're a better track maker than that. Like, why don't you put some more objects around the track? Like, if you're starting to try to go down that road in your head, dog, all I did was I took my Venus motocross track that I made forever ago. That was literally like the 5th or 6th track I had ever made. So I took that exact track and just made a supercross track on it, right? I didn't want to change this track too much because it is, I wanted to kind of keep the same sort of vibe and the same sort of off-track decals and objects and everything like that. I wanted to keep all that the same so it still sort of had that old school Spencer Turley, Venus motocross track vibe to it. So that's why I didn't go overboard with the off-track objects or, really go too hard on changing up the decals or anything like that. So if you're getting that in your head, just letting you know that's why I kind of made the track like this, a little more on the basic side, a little more on the, looks a little bit more like a beginner style track. That's because I directly took it from my Venus motocross track and then made this track out of that track, right? So, and it's the same way with, if you're starting to look at some of these jumps and you're thinking like, holy God, why are these jumps so insane? Like, what's going on? Why is this not a little bit more realistic or whatever? Well, you got to keep in mind you are on a Venus Supercross track here, okay? So the goal was not to make a JGMX on track with this, right? Hope that's like, you can understand why it would be like that. I was really trying to make more unique style sections. Some of these sections are a little bit on the more difficult side, but it's not a crazy difficult track, right? Still in the realm of like, you can get around this thing pretty easy once you learn it. Yeah, this little downhill side whoop with ruts through it type section can be a little tricky. Some of these ruts can be a little rough and tricky, but they're really not too bad. This is definitely not like a Pastrana difficulty track or anything like that. This is, Mike could say it's like on the more medium to hard style, but it's not like Pastrana by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, this jump up here is really cool. It's more just like for fun, like a little side whip over, you can do some turn ups, oppos on it. Really try to design that jump section right there for that. And yeah, kind of come around a little bit of a flat section. Yeah, the traction's a little bit bizarre, I'm not gonna lie, but I try to use the same traction that I used back on my Venus motocross track to kind of keep it all the same, right? So I was really trying to do everything I could to basically just take my really old Venus motocross track and just make a supercross track out of it. So that's why a lot of this stuff kind of seems a little bit more old school, a little bit more on the kind of more like a beginner style track. That's why all of it kind of seems more like that with the traction and the decals, all that kind of stuff. but still pretty fun track. Got a really big tabletop, really steep tabletop, I should say. It's not super long, but definitely a steep tabletop right there. Just try to change it up a little bit, do something a little different. So if any of you guys remember this section, this was literally on my Venus motocross track right here. This whole section, this is the one section I took directly from my Venus motocross track. Some of you old school, I'm talking like, well, I probably put that track out when I had like maybe 500 subscribers or less, right? So there's only a select handful, few of you guys that probably even remember my Venus motocross track. But if you do remember that, you'll remember this whole sort of section right here where you come up through here and you jump this and it kind of goes down this hill. I kept all this identical to my actual Venus motocross track, this whole section right here. All this up through here and then up to this elevation up top of this hill, and then it all changes again right here. So it was cool to just, implement at least a little bit of a section from my Venus motocross track on there. And if you start looking on the off track, you can kind of see where the track would have went, right? You can kind of see it like, I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Kind of see, Venus motocross went like back around through here, up over here, up on all this, up, it kind of twisted down through some of those sections and went all the way back through there. So, yeah, just a nice little combination of a throwback track with trying to make something cool and new, right? Look at oh my gosh, look at the peaks on that. My track info is definitely not liking those peaks right there. Jesus. But yeah, I think it's cool to add interesting. It's hard to make a unique space track and stuff you think you want to try to smooth everything so that you eliminate some of that like lag that you'll get if you have too many splicing terrain points. But sometimes you want this kind of stuff to make a unique, bizarre, alien-y space kind of track, right? So I try to kind of create that a little bit right here, but yeah, but overall, like most of these little rhythms like this, cool little pre-made inside rut right here that you can hit. You can go up the inside and you can do a double, triple, or go around the outside and do a triple, double. Nice little berm on the outside. Just a cool little, I like the way I designed this right here where it's not just like a perfect berm, right? It's not just like a perfectly smooth berm. There's some character to it. There's see how it kind of dips down a little right here, and then you've got like a little bit of like it's kind of dug in a little bit right there to the left, almost like it's got another little rut right there. I really tried to make these berms and stuff a little more on the unique side in that sense. But like as far as all these rhythm jumps right here, you're not going to have any trouble hitting this stuff. It comes back around here, a little bit more of a smooth style corner right here, like typical corner. And then right here, you actually cross over that big tabletop jump at the beginning. So you can either go on off of it right here, or you can quad all the way over it, right? And then you're hitting this jump. This might take you a couple of times hitting this before you kind of realize where you're supposed to land, because you're kind of having to jump to the side a little bit, right? But once you learn it, it gets to be a lot of fun on that part of it. So yeah, we got to, I'm trying to make unique tracks here, guys. So don't expect a standardized 1-to-1 scale JGMX perfectly smoothed off. Like, don't expect that at all on this track, because that's not even what this is trying to be. You know what I'm saying? We got a Big Daddy triple right out of the jump, first corner. Like, you don't ever see tracks with that. So, cool how I put some grass kind of on before you actually hit the landing, so it kind of allows you to see where the exact landing is a little bit better. Try to integrate a little bit of a different rock decal in some areas, like I did on my original Venus motocross track. So yeah, man, interesting little rhythm right through here as well. You're kind of jumping the track crosses over technically in two different places, right here and then over there on this tabletop jump. But once you're out a lap on the track, it's not like a weird, oh my god, this track's crossing over everywhere. It's not really like that, because you're going to be jumping this tabletop right here anyways, so you're not even going to really notice that crossover point right there. And as far as this over here, you're jumping this and then coming down through here. It's pretty obvious where you're supposed to go, I would say. Yeah, the track does kind of cross over itself twice, but Really not that crazy of a thing. It'd be interesting doing some multiplayer races on this, I'll say that. I don't know the odds of actually running into somebody, really. I don't think you'd do it too much on this unless somebody had to roll this tabletop and then you were coming from the left over there and then you were doing an on-off and then you both ran into each other, but it's not really like super, you know, you're going to run into each other every lap or anything on the crossover sections, but yeah, really cool. If you land off that tabletop right there and then you come up here, you can scrub the crap out of this jump right here. And then you can also scrub the crap out of this one right here. Again, those are perfect double scrub jumps, you know. You can do a scrub and then do another scrub right after it. Those are just perfect for that, bro. Absolutely perfect for that. So yeah, you know, obviously it's kind of a little bit more of a motocrossy, supercrossy, spacey, Spencer Turley hybrid-y. Like, there's really no word for it. Yeah, I call it a supercross track, but, like, nah. Like, this is not your everyday typical supercross track, if that wasn't already obvious, right? Pretty much every track I make is, like, there really is no words for it. But, yeah, try to keep it somewhat in the realm of... I try to not get too crazy out of the, you know... like just insanity jumps. I try to keep it somewhat in the real realm, but it's not like a, yeah, you're probably never going to see a real life track like this. Like, I fully understand that, but either way, hope you guys enjoy it. Track link down below in the description, and don't forget, if you're wanting to see any of my other custom tracks or get track links to any of my other custom tracks, all you got to do is go to my front page on YouTube. I got a whole playlist for that called My Custom Track, and all you got to do, it's literally the first playlist on my channel. When you click on it, you just got to scroll down, then you can click on my playlist right there. So yeah, I got my 60 plus other custom tracks on there, all the track links down below in the descriptions of those tracks. So yeah, I apologize. I know I said I was going to start making these tracks up, you know, releasing these tracks like weekly, but Supercross 3 came out, and then all the crap going on with the world right now kind of started happening, so put a little bit of put the brakes on my custom track releases here a little bit, but I'll get them back going here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this kind of crazy little different throwback but new style track here. It's definitely a fun one once you get it down. Yeah, if you're like a full-blown beginner, you're gonna have some trouble on this track without a doubt, for sure, but it's just one of those things you got to know like exactly what gear to be in, wide open in whatever gear, and you're going to be able to start hitting this tabletop right here pretty much perfect every lap. All the other jumps really aren't that bad. This triple right out of the first corner, you just kind of got to learn just that speed you got to be hitting it with. It's got a little bit of room for error right here, right? When you actually got quite a bit of landing here. I didn't want to put too much though, but like you can see, I mean, you got some room for over jumping and under jumping for sure. So yeah, man, either way. Appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Shout out to Drew Hiller for the $5 donation. I appreciate you, bud. And yeah, man, be back on that next video. Gonna keep these custom tracks rolling. Be sure and throw me some sick thug nasty fatty whips over this little side jump right here. Please, please. It's fun when you can throw some cool ones over that. But you can also throw some cool oppos when you come around this whole first start section right here, because you're kind of sliding when you come around to this first jump, and it just sets you up perfect to be able to throw it back the opposite way right here on this triple, you know what I mean, and then land off of that. But yeah, you know, just try to keep some of the old school vibes here. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to, you know, criticize the track. This is not just like I didn't just randomly poof this up out of nowhere. I literally am trying to make a very similar track to my Venus motocross track, but just a supercross version of it. So yeah, man, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dude.